Welcome back to the MyLatinLife podcast. Since 2014, MyLatinLife has been your trusted guide to traveling and living in Latin America. Our guest today is Christian Bello, aka Christian Bello from Import Export. On Twitter, you can find him at NoRiskNoParty. He's got a hard hat in his photo, pretty recognizable. And we welcome Christian to the podcast. How you doing, man?
Thank you, Vance. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've loved your tweets for a long time. Been following you for well over a year. You do a couple really, really interesting things that we're going to get into a podcast. And I just noticed that you charge $700 for a 1 hour consultation.
Yes, I do. Yes. When it comes to import, it's a very complicated topic to cover, and it took me years to actually become the person and the knowledge that I currently have. So for me, it's a very fair price for what you get after getting a 1 hour call with me because there's not information about how to import, how much you're going to be paying for customs,
Mm,
on ocean freight, on inland trucking, and all these crazy tariffs that we're getting from the current administration. So
mhm.
honestly, if before I started to import, if I had someone who would have authority and I could pay $700 to bypass all the thousands of dollars that I lost as a tuition, I would have done it. I would have paid it
Makes
every single
sense.
day.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely makes sense. Obviously, this isn't like an advertisement, but maybe Christian will throw me $100 of that $700 if people mention my Latin life. I'm just joking.
Absolutely.
I'm just joking.
Absolutely.
But no, dude. So tell me, well, before we get into your story, people might want to know why it's worth listening to this podcast because you do a couple things. I enjoy your tweets about the roofing company. So you have a roofing company in Southern Florida in Miami, right? And then you
Yes.
also do the import stuff. I guess you don't really do export, it's more import. And I guess it's
Yes.
like Alibaba stuff from China. Or you tell me, I find it very interesting.
Yes. Well, yes, I do have a roofing company. I'm a certified roofing contractor in the state of Florida. And I also have a my line of products that are currently being sold at Home Depot, at Lowe's, throughout Alibaba, Amazon, eBay. So yeah. I became a vendor to the Home Depot company about 3 years ago, and maybe 6 months after Lowe's called me to start supplying them.
Mhm.
So it definitely changed my life, and that's what I do. Yeah, I import from China all of my products, and I also have this roofing and construction business that I do in Southern Florida.
And I saw a couple days ago you were talking about how you finally got paid ads going. Is that on like an info product or is that on like a drop ship, like an e-commerce type product, or what was that in reference to?
Yeah, that's in reference to roofing customers. I'm
Ah.
just trying to targeting, homeowners and trying to get higher incoming potential customers on a daily basis. But if you've read my posts, you must know how much I've spent only this year on ads. The problem with ads is it's very expensive if you're doing it wrong.
Mm.
And I'm a very stubborn guy, and I want to do it myself and learn myself. And basically paid about $50,000 from January to June, and it didn't convert even one single client. So it was just burnt money.
50K.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
posted I posted a picture, zero conversions on Google. We're talking about that Google, if you don't know how to optimize your campaigns, Google would charge you easily. I mean, I paid it multiple times, $299 for a click. That doesn't mean the customer is going to call you. That doesn't mean the customer is going to be doing business with you. They just click on your link and they're on your website. That's it. Just hope and pray.
Okay. So hopefully a lot of lessons for the audience here in the podcast. What would you be enthusiastic to talk about more? What do you think the audience would like to hear more about? The roofing stuff or the import stuff?
Well, I think a little of both, and maybe how people could do the same thing. For example, honestly, Vance, I never thought of becoming a Home Depot vendor ever, ever. It didn't even cross my mind, not even once. But then back in 2019, when the pandemic came over, we were construction companies and contractors were overpaying for our daily, products, for our daily, let's say, I don't know,
Right. There
materials.
was the, what do they call it? The supply shock.
Yes, it was horrible. We were overpaying for everything, and we were not being, we were not overcharging our customers. We were still charging whatever we had previous to the pandemic. So I said, there's no way I'm paying $20 for this product, and then next month it's double, and then triple the next month. I gotta find who's manufacturing this stuff. I got to make sure somehow I can bypass what's eating my costs. So I started to work. I started to work. I started to contact manufacturers in China, um, getting samples, um, doing FaceTime with them, trying to get in touch with their factories. And probably about 2 or 3 years after, I got my first container. And then that first container sat in my warehouse for over a year. Everybody who promised me, my contractors' friends, who promised to buy from me, did not.
Hmm.
It was all promises. And then when I had the products with me ready to sell, they said, "Oh, what about the certifications? What about the laboratories? What about this and that?" I was like, "You promised me to buy, now you're not buying anything." So we were talking about 100K that sat in my warehouse for over a year. I still have some of those pallets sitting in my warehouse because some of those products were losers. I mean, somehow I didn't. Just because I thought I used some products doesn't mean the whole United States does, So that's one problem that we had in Miami. We use some specific products that the whole country doesn't, and that was a mistake that I did. But it changed my life to start importing because I said, "Well, I have a lot of products. What am I gonna do with it?" And then for your audience, I just want to say, just dream big.
Hmm.
Just dream freaking big and put the bar as high as possible. And the more ridiculous it looks like, the better. And nobody's going to understand this until it happens. I was like, well, I have no idea about product presentation and catalog and being a vendor and all of this. And then I went to Home Depot and presented my products and my company about 3 times, and I got denied 3 times. But I guess the vice president and the people up there said, "Listen, this guy is not going to give up." And honestly, they were right. So I asked for a fourth meeting, and they finally approved me. I couldn't believe it.
Hmm.
They finally approved me. Now all of my products are selling nationwide. We sell daily. It changed my life. And Lowe's denied me. Okay, so Home Depot and Lowe's denied me at the same time. But once Lowe's, somebody at Lowe's was able to see that my products were at Home Depot and for the price I was selling them,
Hmm.
it wasn't even maybe 4 months before I received a call from Lowe's saying, "Listen, we want your products in our company." So it was just like a dominoes effect. Big box retailers after big box retailer trying to get our products. It was just crazy.
So we'll come back to that. I want to learn a little bit more about you because it sounds like you finally hit, like, things are really clicking finally. So you're 30 years old now. You just turned 30,
Yes, sir.
and you
Yes.
were born in Venezuela, right?
Yes, but my whole family is it's Colombian. I'm actually in Bogota right now visiting.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
And are you a U.S. citizen now, or a green card, or?
I got my citizenship meeting on August the 7th. So right now I'm on a green card.
Wow, 1 month from now.
Yes, can't wait.
That's cool. Okay. So you
Before
have just the Venezuelan passport or you have Colombian too?
I do have my Colombian passport and I do have my Venezuelan passport, and hopefully I get the US citizenship in a month. I'm not sure if I have to give up one of them, I think. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the rules. I don't think so. That'll be cool. So you'll have three.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Single, family,
Um, Fiance. I have a fiance.
fiance. Congrats.
Yes, Caitlin. Yeah, she's a nurse, and hopefully we elope in November.
Awesome. Congrats. Congrats.
Thank you.
I guess tell me like a little bit of the story, whatever you want to share, because it sounds like you're a very driven guy. You're running kind of two businesses at once. You got the Twitter going. We'll come back to that. I'm curious kind of what value you get out of Twitter. But I guess tell me kind of how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, well, being an immigrant is definitely changes your priorities. Okay, I got to the United States when I was about maybe 17 years old or 15, and
You
I
better get
knew
your
what I.
story straight for your appointment.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm joking, 15 or 17.
No, yeah, I was like, well, I was visiting. I visited California when I was like 15, but I was on a visa, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I finally stayed in the United States in California on my second trip when I went back to California. Anyway, when you're an immigrant, Vance, I don't think you have. We don't feel like we have a second chance. We feel like we
Hmm.
have one shot and you gotta give it your best. I mean, I have no parent, I have no mom, no dad, no American family, nothing. The first one to be a legal alien or a legal human being in the United States was me. So I knew everything that I was going to do had to be right, and I had no time to waste. And I really like to be, to do um to be the best on what I can, on what I do, and to differentiate myself from others.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I got to where I am, trying to learn and trying to um, create a company, do something bigger than create something bigger than myself. Yep.
Definitely. Wow. And so how do you split your time today between the US and Colombia?
Well, right now I'm on my way to Venezuela. I'll be traveling to Venezuela tomorrow. I do have an office in Venezuela
Hmm.
with a little about of maybe 10 employees, all of them
Oh,
bilingual,
wow.
and that's one of the ways to, maybe cut some costs on payroll.
Right.
Yes, I
Yeah,
mean,
I work with a couple teams where it's like paid ads guys and stuff, and they're all Venezuelan.
oh really? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they're all bilingual. They speak English perfectly fine, and it's given me the upper hand to keep investing in the other company and the products and the other stuff that I'm trying to do, because if I move my payroll from Latin America to the United States, trust me, costs are going to increase by maybe 5x
Right.
easily. Yes. I mean, I still employ people in the United States, right? Like my labor team, for example, and my another somebody else inside my warehouse and my office. But when it comes to the backbone and back office and project management and content creation and marketing specialist, agent and all of that, they're all in Venezuela.
This episode of the My Latin Life podcast is brought to you in part by Crema Social. Crema Social is like TikTok for international dating. It's an app you can download right now on your phone, and 3 out of 4 people on Crema are single women. The app was founded in Colombia, so unsurprisingly, there are a lot of Latinas on the app, by the way. So, how does it work? Crema Social is a social meal experience where you invite a hot girl for a lunch date via video call and food delivery. New concept, so you'll have to try it out for yourself, but this is probably the best way to meet Latinas before you visit the country. So if you're in Latin America or planning to visit Latin America, download Crema Social now and start getting dates right away. There will be a link in the description to download, or just search Crema Social on your favorite app store. Have fun, guys. Interesting. And I imagine you go to China a fair bit. I've seen you tweet about the Canton Fair, for example.
It's funny. People don't believe it, but I've never been in China.
Ah, okay.
So you can become Alibaba top one product supplier, become the top number one gold member, and still never put a feet in China.
Do Venezuelans have visa-free China? I'm
No,
curious.
we
No, we don't.
yes, yes,
Ah,
yes. We need to request a visa.
oh.
Yes.
I thought maybe they would. Because there's a lot of Chinese in Venezuela, right?
Oh, we have a huge Chinese community in Venezuela. Huge. They're huge.
Okay. I know we're bouncing around a lot, but I guess maybe an interesting place to take things next would be I want to hear about like the boring businesses. So one of the early tweets that caught my attention of yours was how you were renting out those like the
Trailers.
dump trailers.
That's a cash
And
cow, man.
yeah, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, that's a cash cow. Well, in 2019, I was renting a dump trailer from somebody else, right? So he would charge me about $200 a day, maybe $300 a day. I would pick it up with my truck. I would use it, dump it into the dump station, and then I would return it back to him for
Uh,
24 hours. And then one day I called him and he said, I cannot rent it. Sorry, sold out. Somebody else has it right now. I was like, there's no way. I need to get this job done. There's a lot of debris I need to remove from this house. So I said, screw it. I'm going to go buy one. And then I went to the dealership and bought my first dump trailer. I use it, and the next day, you won't believe this. There's a contractor. He's my neighbor inside my apartment complex. And he said, what are you doing with that dump trailer, dude? I need it today. I was like, I just bought it. There's no way. Like, what do you mean you need it? And he said, I rent it out. I will rent it out from you. Like, how much? 200? I was like, 200? And then I remember the previous day, while doing the financials, my monthly payment was $200 even. And
mm,
he offered me $200 for a day. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be making my monthly payment in 24 hours, and I would still have 29 more days to make a profit.
yeah.
And then I said, you know what? Take it. He took the dump trailer, $200. The next day, he didn't return it. He called me, brother, I won't be able to return it. I need it one more day. He paid another $200. Well, it, it went on to the point that he kept it for a week, and I made over $1,000. I was like, there's no way. I just made, without wanting, over $1,000 in profit just by renting this thing out. Fast forward, Vince, I currently have six dump trailers now.
How much do they cost? Like 10 grand or something
10
less?
grand, yeah, 10 grand, and
Okay.
then you can rent them out for $200 a day.
So
It's
like
it,
even
it's a
like
cash cow.
50% occupancy, would be like 3 grand a month, no?
Yes, yes, yes. Now you don't get like 50%. Maybe you get about 40.
Uh-huh.
Usually, when it comes to busy season, let's say right now, July, August, September, it's pretty busy. Maybe you can get to 60, 70. But let's say November, I'm not gonna lie, November, December, January, maybe 20% occupancy rate, but still pays off. I mean, pays off.
Wait, why is the high season the summer in Miami? You think it'd be like almost too hot to work?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That city doesn't
But
stop, man.
I know, so shouldn't it be year round? Like, isn't it easier to work in November, December?
Yeah, but people put their construction ideas are not their priorities for those 3 months. November,
Okay.
December, January. They still want to do construction, but listen, this is family time. Let's move it for February.
Okay.
That's what happens usually, yes.
Really
And
interesting.
yeah, when the last hurricane passed by, it wasn't even in Miami. It was on the West Coast. Guess what? They called me from the West Coast to come pick up my trailers, and they took them for months, Vance. $2,000 a month I charge if you want the dump trailer for a month,
Uh-huh.
and all of them were rented for a month, 2 3 months. I didn't see my trailers.
And these are the ones that's it's like it's just like a big piece of metal that you throw all the debris in, right?
Yep, and then yes, you cover it up with a tarp on top. You take it to the dump station, and then you have a hydraulic arm
Uh-huh.
that lifts it up. It dumps it, and then it comes down again.
Crazy. And so why is the mathematics behind this so good? Is there like not enough, is it hard to buy these trailers or something, or like how?
No, I don't think it's hard. I think it's hard to store them in a metro city like Miami. You
Uh
know, like people don't have parking spaces, and community guidelines and rules are a pain. You can't have a trailer, you can't have an RV, whatever. So if you have a warehouse, you have the upper hand.
and you have a warehouse.
I do have a warehouse, yes. Yes. Oh, I got into the business without a warehouse. I want to say that. I want to say
Mm.
that clearly. It became a business, and then I figured out, well, I need two, three more. I'm gonna need to rent a warehouse. But I started on neighbor.com, where somebody was renting a semi truck parking space somewhere near my house. So I said, how much? He said, give me $400, and it was enough to park 3 or 4 trailers there, and then that's how it started.
Wow. And one of your tweets about this, where it was the tagline is "Dump trailers versus real estate. Here's why trailers win." Monthly, and you kind of like break down the numbers that we've been
That
talking
went
about here,
nuts.
and that went nuts. It has 2.5 million views on that one tweet alone. It's from about a year ago, 2024.
Yeah.
Did you screw over your own business? Is it now more competitive or what?
Yes, it got crazy. People would find out where my warehouse was, what my roofing company was, so they could visit me and ask questions. They would say, "Hey, I'm up here. I'm a follower of Christian." They would call the office and say, "Can he come out? I want to meet him, and I want to ask questions about the dump traders." And it all happens. I honestly, I didn't think it was gonna have that reach.
Hey guys, quick break from the episode to tell you about BitRefill. BitRefill allows you to shop online and in person without banks, converting your crypto directly into merchant balance. We're talking gift cards to Nike, Amazon, Apple, Airbnb, Hotels.com, and many more, all paid for with crypto. BitRefill offers more than 10,000 gift card options in 180 countries all across Latin America, including Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, El Salvador, and many more. You can also apply the code MyLatinLife at checkout to get 10% back on your first purchase. Go to bitrefill.com for more information. That's so cool. Well, speaking of reach, maybe then um, it's hard to get off talking about making money, but I guess what's your goal with Twitter? Like, what does it kind of do for you? Because you're dropping a lot of alpha, you're dropping a lot of kind of like insider information. How's your Twitter experience been?
Honestly, Vance, I'm a guy that loves knowledge and finds more, let's say, value in people's thoughts than in people's pictures. For example, Instagram or
Hmm.
TikTok or whatever. I'm an X guy, and I think I find a lot of value, and I think our community are very straightforward with their thoughts. They are very hard to maybe gaslight them into something that's completely fake. That's why I think I love X. And what do I get out of it? Well, when it comes to roofing purposes, I did the NBA president's Indiana's Pacers roofs. He called me. He got onto my ex. Somebody
Really?
DMs me. Yeah, somebody with a lot of followers DMs me and said, "Hey, I see you're a roofing contractor in Miami. I need to get my roof done." I was like, "Who's this guy?" And then I said, "Wow, this guy's famous." And then we did the inspection. We submitted the bid, the contract, and within 5 minutes, it was signed. So I created an authority when it comes to roofing
Mhm.
purposes and roofing construction, and also when it comes to importing from China. I mean, it's not a surprise for anybody that we are overpaying. When it comes to retail, we are overpaying, and it's not about 10 or 20%. We're overpaying 2x, for example, easily. I cannot tell you right now my
Who's we?
contracts.
Who's overpaying for what?
The consumers, the end consumers.
Uh-huh. Paying for
You,
what?
me,
Like,
whoever goes to Walmart, whoever goes to to
uh,
to to the store in Home Depot, we are overpaying easily, starting from 2x.
hmm.
We are overpaying. I cannot tell you right now how much I sell my products for to the big box retailers, but trust me, I mean, their profit margins are crazy, and we don't,
So
us the
who makes
vendors.
more margin, the Home Depot or like the distributor importer?
Oh, trust me, the retailers make stupid margins.
Hmm.
And when I tell you stupid margins, is stupid margins.
Well, they got to
Retailers,
deal with a lot, right? They got thefts and this and that.
yes, but still, it's way too much.
Hmm.
Once we're off the record, I can let you know you won't believe.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. So if the trailer thing is so good, why did you stop at six, or why didn't you go full time on this? Why even go through the effort of trying to import stuff and get into Home Depot? And obviously, it ended up being successful. But why didn't you just go all in on the trailers?
Yeah, easily. The answer is scalability. To scale these trailers hard, I mean, you can make a cash cow on a daily basis and maybe, make some money. But when it comes to scale, I wanted to do something that would be at least nationwide. And that's why I went with the products. I saw a bigger opportunity, and the first thing I told you, I put my bar ridiculously high. I like to dream big. And I mean, the trailers, it's nice. There's somebody who's making over $50,000 in Alberta, Canada. You can get in
Hmm.
touch with him. He's a follower of mine, and he
Okay,
started the
I'm
business.
Canadian, by the way. I'm Canadian American.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so when I hear about this shit, I'm like, oh my god, this is why. This is how people are getting rich in Canadian construction.
Yes. Well, he's from Alberta, and he started the business just because he found my post. And
Wow.
then right now he's even making more money than me. I'm so happy for him. I couldn't believe it.
I actually have one of my buddies. Their family, they do crane rentals in
Okay.
Toronto, and different. I think they also do like heavy machinery rentals for construction sites. And yes, it's the same kind of thing, right? Like you buy it and you're renting it out for like whatever.
Cash cows.
Yeah.
They're cash cows. But they're very expensive. Cranes are stupid expensive.
Yeah. So it's like a the business almost becomes like how cheaply can you acquire debt, or like get debt so that you can buy these things and like have it pay off
Yes.
and so forth, right?
And, yes, and also be a good operator. I mean, it's
Mhm.
tough to deal with rentals. It's not easy. I mean, I could not imagine how Airbnb people deal with that, man.
Bro, you
It's
must
a
have some
pain.
stories of people stealing the trailers or damaging them or whatever,
Oh, trust me. I've gotten mine about three stolen ones.
and you only have
Easily.
six.
Yeah. Yes, it's Miami. It's a different kind of city.
Yeah,
It's ruled differently.
but you're Latino, so you know how the
Oh, I
how
feel
the
yes.
streets are.
Yes, I can smell it. I can smell it when somebody's trying to, be snitchy. Yeah.
But what do they do? They just like steal it off the street or something, or they rent it and then they don't return it and they don't pay the
Let
invoice or
me tell
something.
you, like some of them is this guys from Miami, they come up with a fake ID and a fake ID license.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I know this is fake. Just go back. Just get out of here. Some of them also come with a fake insurance because insurance is very expensive in Miami
mm,
because of the fraud and people they just fall or they just make a crash out of nowhere. They just try to crash, hit something and then call the insurance and get 100,000 for it.
right, right.
So there's a lot of fraud and people can't afford insurance anymore. And they come to me trying to rent a dump trailer with a fake insurance card. So yeah, I get all of them monthly.
It only takes one though to get by you, I guess. But
Yeah. No, no, I know. I know how to protect myself, honestly.
that's probably
Yes.
like its own conversation, like how to have your own insurance for the dump trailers, and like there's definitely like tricks to the trade. I'm sure we don't have to
Yes.
go into too much detail, but it's interesting. Yeah, because there's a big thing on Twitter about boring businesses. I forget the main guy, whatever his name is, and
Nick Huber.
There's Nick Huber. Yeah, he's Sweaty Startup. There's a couple other guys that talk about boring businesses, right? It's like get like a pressure washer business or like a pool cleaning business and this and that. Are you kind of in that world a little bit?
No, no. Um, the reason why I went into roofing in Florida, it's because of when it comes to hurricanes, our license, it's very hard to get. Like we're talking about three state exams with over 400 questions in different days. Like it's pretty complex. And when you have the entry bar, it's pretty high, then you can set better prices for your services. When it comes to cleaning, you don't need a license.
Mm,
When it comes to painting, you don't need a license.
uh-huh.
So I just tell my everybody the bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the paycheck as well. So
Right.
if you're solving cleaning, I mean, I admire people that make a business out of it. But at the end of the day, you're competing with Juanita and Guadalupe that just got from Mexico yesterday, and they're just gonna do the same job you are.
Yeah. So you
For
try to
I don't know
find
how.
businesses where you need licenses and where there's like a barrier
Yes,
to entry.
yes. The higher the barrier, the better for your bank account.
That makes sense. And then how do you split your time between the roofing and the importing?
The imported the importing business, it's pretty automated right now. We're getting orders daily from the big box retailers. I'm not trying to get more um distribution centers as of now. And when it comes to construction, that one does take a lot of my time, but still automated as well. I have my project manager, I have my logistics guy, I have my permit runner, my estimation specialist. I like systems, Vance. I
Okay.
like systems, and I don't like to be slave of my business. I want to make sure I have a company and not
Mm,
and I'm not a self-employed. I want
right.
to be a business owner.
Right. That's the big challenge for a lot of people is going from, say, solopreneur to hiring a team and
Yes.
scaling.
Yes. It's pretty hard, but it's doable.
Did you ever do the roofing yourself? Were you ever up there?
Yes, I
Yeah.
started that way. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. I got pictures. Um, yeah, I got crazy memories, man.
So first and foremost, you're a roofer essentially, right? Or that's like kind of your
Not
primary
really. I would I
business.
wouldn't I wouldn't consider myself as a roofer. I mean, my crews, if they know more about roofer than I do, honestly.
Uh-huh.
I'm not an expert at roofing. I do have my roofing company. I'm a roofing contractor. I'm a licensed guy, but there's people that are on roofs every day,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not on roofs every day. I do have a
It's
company
dangerous.
that, yes, that automated systems, and I do have my inspectors on roofs every day and all of that. But But I like challenges. And once I created my company and started to do well, I wanted to, do something else, something bigger, bigger.
Hmm. So the roofing business is kind of like a boring cash flow generating business in your mind, similar to the trailers, and that allows you to take bigger swings at bat on more on
Yes.
more complicated or high risk, high reward businesses like the importing.
Yes. Well, I would say I don't think the importing is
No risk, no party.
riskier.
Oh, dude, I just lost the audio.
Can you hear me?
Uh,
Can you hear me? Sorry, I got a call. I
yeah,
just
no
put
problem.
do not disturb now. Okay,
Okay.
awesome. What were we saying, man? Sorry about that.
Where does the name No Risk, No Party come from?
It's just me taking chances, man, and against all odds. That's me. If you tell me jump out of that freaking four-story and land on that car down there and survive, if you get me on my date, I would take the chance. I mean, that's how I am. Against all odds, I
So the
don't care.
party and No Risk, No Party, do you mean like fiesta or do you mean a different
Yeah.
type of party?
No, when it comes no when it I don't mean fiesta. I mean success. I mean celebration. I mean if you don't take
Ah.
risks, you don't take any rewards. So no risk, no party. You
Okay.
don't get to celebrate
So it's like
if you don't put
sin riesgo no hay celebración.
fiesta. Exactamente. Yes,
Something
sir.
like that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's accurate enough.
Sin riesgo no hay éxito, no hay fiesta.
No hay fiesta. Do you follow soccer at all?
Not so much, but why do you ask?
I say it because it comes from Real Madrid and Barcelona. They're the largest two soccer clubs in the world.
Sure.
Barcelona, where Messi played, and Real Madrid, where Cristiano Ronaldo played. You know that? You know
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, when Messi didn't play, the people would say, well, no, no Messi, no party. And when then Cristiano didn't play, they would say, no Cristiano, no party. They would lose, they would lose the matches, and the club would be a complete mess. So it comes from that, and I was like, how can I tweak this towards how crazy I am? Because I really like risks. I really like them. I'm not a gambler though. I don't like casinos, none of that.
So for you, like, what would be a risk? Dropping 50K on ads to see if it works?
There we go. Yes. And the funny part is, I don't take no for an answer, man. And one of my marketing specialists says, listen, it's been 6 months. This is not working. Or are we going to stop? We're never going to stop. It needs to work. Why does it work for other companies? It needs to work for us. And then, funny enough, it started to work the first week of July. Like crazy good results. I told you. You just gotta stay on the course until it freaking works. Otherwise, everybody would do it. Otherwise, everybody would be, millionaire. It's complex, but you gotta stay on the game.
So how many roofs do you do a year? Is that a good metric? Or like square footage of roof?
Oh, yeah, I don't have the square footage honestly, but when it comes to roofs, probably mm, it's because we also do commercials and they're large,
Yeah,
even though
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
one, they're
That's
they're
what. Yeah,
large.
that's why I said maybe it's not a good metric.
Yeah. I would have to do the numbers, but
100 plus.
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100 bucks.
So
Yes.
what's the hardest part? Is it winning the bids? Is it finding the clients to be able to bid? Is it, getting employees, especially after what's been happening the past couple of months? What's kind of the hard part?
I would put on the top one, logistics. It's very complex. I mean, submitting permits, submitting the blueprints, the plans.
Mm,
I mean, we have to notarize a lot of documents before we start construction in Miami,
mm.
submitting to court, notice of commencement. It's just a lot of paperwork that
Okay.
contractors are not used to that. And crews are a problem now because of our current administration. Yes, yes, that's accurate as well.
So your
Um,
labor costs went up, I'm sure.
yes, yes, since December, for sure. Everybody was expecting that. So I would say getting customers, it's very complex. I mean, you cannot, it's pretty complex to get a lead, to get a potential client out of posting on Instagram. You know, nobody goes opens their Instagram app or Facebook app wanting to, hey,
Get
I want to
roofing.
see if I can get a roofing, a
Right. It's
roofing
more like
company
Google
showing up.
SEO or something.
It's more like Google, like
Yeah.
the their purchase intent on Google, it's 10 times different. That's
Yeah.
why I decided to log in on Google and make it work no matter what. I have a company that wanted to buy me out. I got very, very close with him. He's in West Palm Beach, Florida. And these guys spending almost $200,000 a month on Google Ads,
Wow.
just on Google Ads. Yes. I mean, they
So it's
own the
everything.
mini.
So it's acquiring the customer is difficult. The papeleo, the paperwork is difficult.
Yes.
The hiring is difficult. A lot of
Yes.
human elements there.
Yes. Yes. Human capital. It's complex. It's a very hard industry. And that's probably why everybody goes out of business after maybe the second year. It's complex.
Mm,
Insurance, it's complex as well.
I'm sure.
Expensive too. Yes.
So we got like 10, 15 minutes left here. I thought we could talk a bit about import export because I find it pretty interesting because that's at the end of the day, that's really how the world works, right? And it's like very behind the scenes and people think, products just like fall out of the sky and everything. But it is a very sort of complex world, the import export world. I'm sure
Yes.
and it's very guarded too, I feel. It's
Yes.
very gate
Nobody
kept.
nobody wants to let anybody join the game. Yes. And that's why, I left dozens of contractors and entrepreneurs to get into the importing world because it's complex, and if you go on Google, you're not gonna find anybody trying to teach you and tell you the little secrets about the industry that I had to learn honestly by doing mistakes, a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of people involved. The ocean company, the inland trucking guy, the customs broker, the power of attorneys that you have to sign all the time. Your Chinese suppliers replying to you once you go to bed, and then you're replying to them once they go to bed because the time zones are completely the
Hmm.
contrary,
Hmm.
it takes a while to move forward, to move the needle, but it's doable. It's doable. Also, I really like it because to make it profitable and to start the 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 entry bar, it's pretty high as well, in my opinion. I
Because you
like
need
I don't
cash.
You need cash. Like, even if you have the 50,000, let's say you're gonna start with $50,000 cash to import your first container, it's not enough. You need a warehouse. And then for the warehouse, you need a couple of months, for the first month, the last month, the security deposit.
Right.
And then once you import the container, it's not enough. You need a forklift, and brand new forklifts are $50,000. And then you need somebody to be the operator of the forklift or yourself. It's a pretty high uh, bar, in my opinion, to get on it, to beat on it, and to bet on the business.
So in the US, is there any like particular group that dominates the import export? Is it like Chinese Americans or is it Latinos or old white guys or is it like a little bit of everybody?
No, white guys for sure.
Yeah.
For example, my main competitor, billion-dollar company, they're 100% white and 100% American, um, leadering the industry.
Hmm.
Chinese are part of it, Well, Latinos, I don't think Latinos are a major percentage, but mostly white people are leading this.
Do you say littering?
Sorry, leading,
Leading.
leading. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I was like that word's wrong. Yeah, leading, leading. Yeah, they're
Okay.
leading the industry.
Okay. So run me through like a quick example because a lot of times people who live abroad, maybe they see something abroad that they say, oh, we need this in America, right? Maybe let's just say they find like an amazing coffee from Colombia, right? And they go, I want to, import the coffee into the United States. Maybe someone's come to you with like a similar idea.
All the
What would
time.
you say to that?
Well, everybody wants to import something once they find out how much we are overpaying here in the United States, comparing to the prices overseas. But um, it's complex. I mean, the price you the price you pay in the manufacturing country, it's not your landed cost. People need to understand the landed cost, and there's a lot of costs associated with your products in order to bring them into the United States, and that's where everybody's business plans fall through, you know. And that's actually how I lost a lot of money too, because you don't know how much you're really paying until you're playing the game. And customs brokers um there's not too many of them, and their time is very short, and they really don't like to give too many advices, because talking about importing anything, any product, it literally takes a lot of time. Literally takes a lot of time, because we would talking to, is there any countervailing scope of rulings from the Department of Commerce against this product? Is there any anti-dumping scope of ruling that CBP assigned to this product? Is there any scope of ruling saying that there's forced labor in that region that you're trying to export from? For example, in China, there's a lot of
Mm,
regions that are forced labor um, tagged or labeled. You cannot bring anything from there.
makes sense. So
Mhm.
let's say the Colombian coffee example. Instead of maybe I was thinking maybe instead of doing from source to destination, maybe you do just one side where you do the export to the United States, or you just deal with it once it's in the US, where you say, hey, there's already a lot of Colombian coffee in the US. I'll just like buy stuff that's already in the US, not have, someone else can deal with the
Mm,
importing. And then, I make my coffee brand like with coffee that's already in the US. Or do you have to do both sides? Or would you say
you,
focus on one side?
you have to do both sides if you want to be competitive.
Hmm.
The large names are doing both sides. If you're buying Colombian coffee locally, you're already paying for the importer's mortgage and the importer's, I don't know, luxury car and whatever. I mean,
Hmm.
you gotta dial in completely from A to C if you want to be competitive. And when I mean completely, I'm talking about going to the farm, doing business with the farmer,
Hmm.
putting the loads into the container, filing all the export paperwork from the country of origin, getting in touch with the ocean company for the ocean freight, and then getting in touch with your customs broker to import for the country of that's going to receive the shipment. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's complex. And the funny part is that you can't start with $1,000. I mean, it's not gonna make any sense. You gotta bring a whole container if you wanna play the game like the pros.
Okay, that's really good advice. And that makes sense because people are charging markup at every step of the way, right?
Yes, yes. Hmm.
That's interesting. Okay. Have you ever helped someone like do
Daily,
you'd like,
daily.
kind of get
Yeah, I
their
handle.
system
Actually, I
going?
handle. I am a shipment handler as well for those people that don't want to. They have the idea, they want to source. I source the products for them. I do the shipping handling. I I land their shipment on their doorstep. I do everything for like a freight forwarder, for example.
Freight forward.
Yes,
3PL.
something like that. Yes, it's complex, and I feel sometimes I don't get paid enough for the sourcing and shipping handling because it's complicated. I mean, it's complicated, and I really make things easy for my customers so that they don't have to worry about all the things that I worry daily for.
Dude, it's such a fascinating world. Where do you see opportunity in the import export world right now as an American? If someone's listening to this and they say, wow, any kind of gate kept industry with gigantic margins, it's old school, it's going to get disrupted. Maybe I'll get some AI going or something. What kind of, where do you kind of see opportunity these days?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Um, I get multiple consulting calls regarding where do I start. Yeah, it's exactly what you said. I can tell you many of them, but my recommendation, it's always you gotta dial into your area of expertise. Okay. I dialed into my roofing products because I was already a roofing contractor. I knew I knew what was gonna happen and I knew the product from A to C. So check this out. Before you start importing, this is my best advice to everybody, and I want everybody to pay attention closely to this if you want to import. If you're wanting to import, you gotta have plan A and plan B. This is what exactly this is what I did on my first shipment, and it is well, I'm a roofing contractor. What exactly can I import? Well, why don't I bring roofing products? And my plan A was I want to sell it to other roofing contractors because I know a lot of roofing contractors. I've been in the industry for multiple years. Plan A, selling it locally to my roofing contractors and colleagues. And my plan B was if I can't sell a single box to my roofing contractors and my local, distributors, then I need to make sure I consume this thing myself. And that's exactly what I did.
Mm, and at least
So,
lower your costs. Yeah.
yes. So if you cannot sell it for X or Y reason, just make sure you're bringing something that you yourself, your company, can consume it, can self-use it until you get rid of it.
That's a lot of coffee I got to drink then.
Yes, yes, but that's the best advice. There's a lot of people wanting to import. Listen, I saw this. I think it's a good idea. Good, but do you have any experience in it? I mean, your number one hack, I would say, is having the right contact in a company. I mean, if you have the right contact, you're going to bypass a lot of paperwork, a lot of things because you already know someone in there that can help you out. So if you don't have this, if you're dialing in, just do it. But I think there's easier ways to reach the industry you want to reach.
That's great advice. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Christian, when we say bye, don't hang up right away because the audio needs a second to upload. Okay. But why don't you take this moment and, tell the audience where they can find you, any final message you want to share with the audience, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vance. Well, again, I'm on YouTube as No Risk No Party. I'm on actually on all platforms: TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. No Risk No Party. That's my handle, my username. And my DMs, guys, are always open. I love to help people. Um, you guys do not need to pay me unless we're talking about 1 hour where you need my whole expertise. But besides that, I would really love to be part of anybody's journeys. I think helping makes me feel really great and wonderful. So just DMs are always open. Reach out. I'll be more than happy to help.
Amazing. Guys, there's going to be a link in the description to all Christian's stuff, and you can find him from there. I want to thank Christian again for coming on the podcast. This was really interesting, man. Really, really interesting to hear about, and I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
Thank you, Vance. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So again, at NoRiskNoParty, Christian Bello, the import expert. import expert. And this has been another episode of the MyLatinLife podcast. Guys, wherever you're listening to this, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., please subscribe. We put out 2 episodes a week with amazing guests like Christian, and you won't want to miss an episode. Ciao for now.